All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. Okay, I'm going to make a bit of a part two of what I was talking about. The response to Rick Beato saying that, music is getting terrible or whatever. Now, Rick Beato does tend to follow the top 40s trend stuff, right? So the top 40 stuff is just like, okay, Taylor Swift and everybody else, right? And, cater to the masses. In that sense, yes, he is correct. The music is terrible because it caters to the masses. It's always very predictable, generic, whatever, but that is catered to the masses materials, right? But is it bad? It's not necessarily bad, whatever. Now, the thing is that, yes, music has never been easier to produce per se. And at the end of the day, that's not a bad thing. Now, even though, yes, you get a lot of bands that produce really horrible stuff. I'm one of them. You know what I mean? You never know where the next star is going to come from because, it's like, oh, well, not everybody's meant to make the best song in the world. You know what I mean? That most people don't, most bands don't. But then you can get a guy like Richmond, north of Richmond, that guy, right? In front of a camera with an okay microphone, with, average guitar skills, belting out a song, you know, and it goes hyper viral in overnight. So you just never know what's going to hit with the audience, right? Like what's going to stick. So this idea that it's too easy to make music and which cheapens it. Well, yeah, you got to see a music, but the cream will always rise to the top. It doesn't really matter. So I don't even know why anybody would even bother worrying about something like that. Music is just so sterile, blah blah blah. It's so it's all been done before, blah blah blah. Something I always hear is like, especially with the blues jazz guys, like, oh, the rock and the metal, it just all sounds the same. But this new Joe Bonamassa guy, oh my God, he's so unique and original. Yeah, the guy's good, but is he playing anything that every other blues player hasn't played over a million times? You know what I mean? Like it's still generic. Like it's like you can't convince me that like Carlos Santana, for example, great player, sure, but is he really that unique? No, he's still playing the same pentatonic riffs all the other blues guys play. Like this note and this note, everything lands in these two notes here. That's your blues guys all the time, right? That's the only two notes they play. And that's fine. It's fine, right? But don't try to pass that off as like, oh, really edgy and creative, and then ignore all this other stuff that is completely different, even if it's been done before. It's just new variations of it. But if you really want to find the unique stuff, number one, don't look at the charts. Look at like independent songwriters. There's a lot of fascinating stuff out there for sure. Some of the production is, hit and miss because, not everybody has the same budgets. And again, yes, it may be easier now than ever to record stuff, but you still have to have a bit of a sound engineer's kind of mindset to be able to put something together well. And not only that, you also have to have the ability to, you know, or have the money just to be able to record, at home. Like, anybody recording at home is not really saving money. They're saving a bit of money, but not really saving that much money. If they're getting a good recording sounding, like this idea that you're recording stuff for like $200, you know what I mean? I would say, okay, yeah, the program might have been $200 or whatever, but there's your laptop, there's all the audio interfaces, there's suddenly you start adding things up, you got a couple of grand there. So it's still not like, okay, I can record a whole album for $50. Like that doesn't really work, right? So there's all that initial investment, and there's all that time you got to put into it to learn how to use the stuff, the equipment. So it's not really that much easier. It's more convenient. And the advantages of that is guys you would never have heard of, you get to hear of. Like, for example, Bernth, his channel. Like, I mean, he produces some really awesome stuff. But mind you, he's not doing it in a $500 studio. You know, like, I mean, you look at the guy that he records with, I mean, there's probably 100 grand worth of stuff there. So is that easier than ever at 100 grand? Most people don't have 100 grand to throw around, right? Like I say, the guitar in front of you is a month's wages. So not everybody has to buy a guitar that extravagant, and some people have even more extravagant guitars. I get that, but you know what I mean. Like, it's easier, but there's still a cost. So to dismiss that extra cost, and then just the years of investment in your playing and songwriting and et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, like, I don't see it as a, you know, like that things are getting worse. I don't see it as that at all. But what I would say is that anybody can throw their hat in the ring, which saturates more. So you're going to get a lot more mediocre bands and whatever, and generic bands and clone bands and stuff like that. So there's more of that. But better or worse, I don't see it. I see it as the potential for somebody to come along and knock a record label off of its rocker as an independent has never been higher. So I'll make a part 3 video.